YouTube? It's your boy Brother Prophet, and I'm back at you with another video. Well, I do know that there is a new study has just recently came out. I believe it was about 2-3 days ago, and it was regarding rich black boys or black boys who come from wealthy families, and even how they have a hard time keeping their status or advancing upward when it comes to mobility. And I wasn't too surprised when I read into the study. I mean, there have actually been a lot of studies over the past decade who has talked about how really even having an advanced college degree doesn't close the wealth gap or make it as equal as to white Americans who have the same type of education. So, my personal opinion, I'm not really too surprised. You know, for a very long time, I mean, I've said that this country is pretty much so based off of racial preference, and that a racial hierarchy is present. You know, I know that there are many people who have talked about the wage gap. I know of Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Claude Anderson, and Dr. Umar Johnson, and a lot of other scholars who have studied the racial wealth gap and how hard it is for African Americans to climb up the economic ladder. And I know a lot of them have their different points of views. I know Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Claude Anderson, and Yvette Carnell. Dr. Umar, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and Dr. Claude Anderson. They're typically more on the side of do for self and black empowerment, whereas Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are more, I don't know, they're more on the side of reparations and government involvement. And to be honest with you, I don't really see it as being that much of a problem. Sometimes I feel that having conflicting views amongst a group of people will cause for their house to be disorganized and could potentially lead to that community falling. It's one of the reasons why civilizations like Rome, Egypt, and Greece failed, because of too many conflicting views and too many civil wars within the community or within their empire. But that's for a different discussion. But I don't know. I'm not really too, like I said, I'm not really surprised at the results. I mean, we live in a country that is still pretty much so based off race. We still live in a country that is very, very racist. There is a racial hierarchy, you know, that's present. And I feel that one way the liberals and the Democrats or the people on the left, how they get it wrong is they assume that all minorities are equal, but when we look at the facts and when we look at the evidence, we can see that that is not necessarily the case. So like I said, I mean, I'm just one man. I don't really know what the true solutions are. I mean, black empowerment would be nice. Having your own business would be nice, but when you have a population that has a significant high poverty rate, black empowerment is kind of hard. I mean, because unlike the Jews, the Asians, even the other immigrants, I mean, a lot of the people who immigrated over here, you know, came from wealthy backgrounds and are the cream of the crop, whereas our experience is a lot more unique. So I don't know. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to really know what the solutions are. But I mean, the study itself, I mean, was a very, very thorough study. I mean, they did a very, very good job using the data and drawing their conclusions. I like how they mentioned how even if, you know, a black boy in a wealthy household who growing up in a two-parent household, if a black boy comes from a wealthy family where there's two parents present, he still has a tougher time compared to a white middle-class man or a white rich man to climb the economic ladder. So it's like I said, I mean, I know for the past couple decades, actually, I think since the 70s, I know the left, particularly the Democrats especially, have been preaching this. It's not about race, it's about class. But when you look at the statistics across the board, we see that that is not the case. We see that racial preference is present, even amongst, you know, black women and white women. I mean, when you bring race and gender and just keep those two in the equation, African American women are the most educated group in America, yet their unemployment rates are higher than white women, and white women still earn less, even within the same field. So I don't know. Like I said, there are many factors at play, but this isn't pulling a race card. But like I've said for a very long time, race matters. Hurts me to say that, but skin color matters, racism matters, prejudice matters, nepotism, all those things have to come into the equation. That's why, people in the tech industry are constantly complaining about how Silicon Valley is not a true meritocracy. Well, in a society where you have racism, sexism, prejudice, and nepotism, you're not going to have a meritocracy. So, like I said, the link to the study will be in the description box. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back at you with another one later tonight. Thank you.